Could Hideo Kojima be partnering with Xbox for his next game? That's what the internet's saying. Let's talk about this story. Okay, so this is another one from industry favorite as of late, Jeff Grub, over on VentureBeat. And the story, I'm just going to get right to the point. It says, Kojima is in talks with Microsoft about publishing his next game. And yes, that statue on Phil Spencer's shelf was referencing a potential deal with the legendary developer. Now, if you're not aware of Hideo Kojima, he made Metal Gear. So yeah, and more recently he did Death Stranding. So, you know, a few weeks back, Phil Spencer did an on-camera interview where he had the statue from Kojima Productions on his shelf. He has been known for teasing future announcements by putting stuff on his shelf. I believe he had an Xbox Series S on his shelf when the Xbox Series S had not been revealed yet. So he sort of puts stuff back there when things are pretty far along. So this story is sort of intertwined with another announcement that Grub also talked about in the article. It's a game called Abandon that's a PS5 exclusive. It's from a company called Blue Box Game Studios, and everyone thinks it's like this shell company, but when you start diving into it further, it just seems like a game that has been in the works for a while and not necessarily Kojima Productions viral marketing technique. I think that is just a separate game. Abandoned by itself actually looks quite interesting. I don't know if it's VR. I don't know very much about it, but you're in the woods and it seems like it's sort of scary. And yeah, that's about all I know about Abandoned. It looks pretty cool, but the PlayStation fan base was talking about that a lot today. And then Grub comes out and he's like, no, that's not a Kojima Productions game, because everybody started having these conspiracy theories that like, oh, Abandon is clearly Kojima Productions. It's clearly a viral marketing thing from Kojima. I mean, that might prove to be true in the long run, but I just don't see it. I just think it's a cool looking game that people are into and it's exciting from a design perspective. So if we start thinking about the markets that Xbox needs to hit, I've been getting a lot of tweets from people talking about how Xbox has been hitting up VTubers. I don't even know what that means, to talk about Game Pass. So thank you for, sending that stuff in. And Phil Spencer, if we go back to the Bethesda conference recently, what was the thing he was most excited about?
I'm ready to go to Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, go see Tango, a studio that I just have such respect for, the history of the creations there. I've talked for a long time about our desire to have more of a first-party presence in Japan. This is a great step there. So, I mean, just thinking about the map of where these teams are, and just talking about all the games they're working on, but I can't wait to spend more time with the Tango team and get to know them.
That's right. It was going to Japan to get the Japanese market. That has, for a long time, been one of the toughest markets for Xbox to get into. Now, selfishly, I want to see Lost Odyssey return. Like, imagine Lost Odyssey return, but everything was voice acted, or at the very least there was a sequel made and that series was allowed to continue. That is a beloved series from the Xbox 360 days that a lot of people enjoyed. But even bigger is the entire idea of Kojima working closer with the Xbox brand or releasing something exclusively with the Xbox brand. Oh, and before I forget, there was one small thing I wanted to add to this story from, well, I see it here on VGC. This is from March 25th. Everybody's been talking about how Kojima Productions is likely to announce its next game relatively soon. And that's from art director Yoji Shinkawa. The quote specifically from VideoGameChronicle.com was, well, yeah, I am doing something for sure, and I could tell you probably that we can announce it quite soon, said Shinkawa, a longtime Hideo Kojima collaborator who is best known for his character and mecha design work on the Metal Gear franchise. So something is coming quite soon from Kojima Productions. Let's go. Does this open up the potential for more Japanese developers to work exclusively in some respect with Xbox? Is Platinum going to work on the next Bayonetta and somehow tie that in with the Xbox brand? Is Sega going to be purchased by Xbox? These are questions that are on a lot of people's mind, and it's just been sort of talked about a lot on the internet. But going back to the original story, it's pretty cut and dry. Grub basically talks about how this abandoned game, a lot of people just started saying it's viral marketing for Kojima's next project. And I think it's just a game. Like, I don't think it's that interest. I don't think like PR wise, they're doing something that interesting. I just think, you know, Abandoned is a game. It's coming out. It looks really, really cool. And it will stand on its own. I don't think it's tied to Hideo Kojima in any way, especially when you start looking at the evidence, because we see Phil Spencer, we see that he's teasing something with Kojima Productions. And for me, I thought, okay, maybe that means that Death Stranding is going to come to the Xbox platform. That would be a much less exciting announcement, I realize. But imagine if even if that happened, that would be another story about something that was formerly a Sony exclusive making its way to the Xbox ecosystem, probably via Game Pass, or just generally speaking, if it wound up on the Xbox platform, even that would be exciting, because it means that nothing is sacred. I don't know how else to describe it, right? It means that when those year-long contracts are up, like is for Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII is a timed exclusive for PlayStation, right? Are we going to start to see that on Xbox? Because the market is much smaller. There were 100 million units for the PlayStation 4. I don't know how many Xbox Ones there were, but now we're in next-gen territory, and people want to be involved in that market. And I think they're starting to see that, okay, well, in February, we knew that there were only 5 million PlayStation 5s sold, but now we're further along in the life cycle. They're like, okay, but we could very easily just double or largely expand our user base if we just partner with Xbox, because Xbox is Windows. So they get the PC market, they get the Xbox market, they get the Game Pass market. And yeah, Sony has a lot of great games, but I have to wonder if developers are starting to see that they're leaving a lot of money on the table and making these additional collaborations with the Xbox brand. Regardless, it's good news for everybody. I can't wait to see this story unfold. It's going to be interesting to see what Kojima does. And that's all I really have to say about the situation. A lot of people were tweeting at me about it. It's really exciting to talk about these sort of rumors. And as far as we know, it's a rumor. Grub, if you end up watching this for some reason, I respect you very much, but I'm calling it a rumor. I don't know. I hope the stories you've been talking about lately come to fruition, because they're very exciting though. So yeah, that's what I think about it. What do you think? Do you think the next Kojima game is definitely going to be an Xbox exclusive? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these types of videos where I just sit in front of the camera and ramble, you can subscribe. I also turned on the YouTube membership thing, and I forgot to put the names in my last video. So thank you to all of the members. Again, a few more names on there. That's awesome to see. Thank you for joining. And yeah, another late night ramble from Destin, who can't even speak. I just got finished fixing the dishwasher, and then I was like, I got to record that video to nerd out about Kojima or whatever's going on there. Anyway, all right, rambly again. I'm Destin, signing off. I'll see you for the next one. Bye, everybody.